friends, welcome back to Lemon Tree Corner. If you don't know me, my name is Heather and I run a small handmade business called Lemon Tree Corner where I make purses and bags and project bags for makers like you. And welcome back to those of you who come here every week. I really appreciate all of your support and all of the new subscribers we have. So come on in, let's get started. This week in the studio we're going to be continuing work on the quilt top, the Hawaiian quilt top. I'm hoping to get that totally done because next week we're going into Christmas in Vlogtober. So that's going to be really fun. I have some Christmas projects that I want to complete before the actual Christmas season starts, and I figured Vlogtober is a good time to do that. Lots of YouTubers do extra videos in Vlogtober. So I'm hoping to do at least 2 a week for you and get some content out. I'll give you a little sneak peek in a minute of what we're going to be working on. We have the Annie's Christmas blanket that we're going to be working on, which I have four kits back here that I got in the mail that are waiting to be crocheted in. So really behind on that. So we're going to get working on that, which is going to be a relief because the Moroccan blanket is, yeah, she's a little high maintenance, a little higher level than I'm ready for right now. So let me show you where we got to last week with that. Oh. And I have 4 kits for that one behind me as well. So last week we finished off the inner square. We did this really cool bobble border. It's like a chunky border there, and that was really nice. So I'm really liking the way that looks. And then we started on, oh, glad everything's right here. And then we started on the granny square. So there's 4 squares in the corner. So this is what it's looking like so far. I still have a few rows to go, but I'm kind of in a quandary now because it just looks very messy to me and I'm not happy with it. So like here we've got this extra chunk where it was supposed to go in the loop behind, but I didn't. So it's just not looking up to my standards. I think I'll have to redo that before we get going. I think I'll complete this square just so I know what I'm doing, and I've done the whole pattern once. And then I'll probably take this out and do 4 corners again. And other than that, what we're going to be doing for Christmas in Vlogtober, other than the Christmas blanket, is we're going to be working on these cute ornaments. So I saw last year in somebody's video they had one of those cool advent calendars where it's a big tree and each day you put an ornament on the tree. So I found an Etsy seller that makes that. So there's a whole pattern for making the banner with the dowel and the tree, and then a separate pattern for all of the ornament pieces. So we're going to be working on that. They're all felt ornaments with embroidery. And then I also downloaded a couple of other Etsy patterns for embroidery felt ornaments. Some of the 25 ornaments for the Advent one are a little difficult. They're challenging. So I kind of bought the other ones as backup just to have some easier ones to do. And I traditionally do a Christmas craft every year for family members, and I was thinking it would be cute to do a little garland of felt ornaments for family members. So we're going to be working on that. I have to prep everything. I've got all these little pattern pieces I have to cut out, so I have to figure that out, as well as just we're going to take a trip to Joann's and get some supplies for that. I ordered some stuff already, but just some missing pieces of felt colors that I don't have and embroidery floss colors that I don't have. And then I need to get the actual fabric for the background and the tree and everything. So we'll be taking a trip to Joann's now that the colonoscopy is over and I don't have to worry about getting COVID at the worst possible time and missing out on my appointment. I can go to Joann's maskless in the full glory of Joann's shopping and have a lot of fun. I haven't been there in a really long time, so really looking forward to seeing the fall stuff, the Christmas stuff, the fabric. It's one of my happiest places on earth, so I've really been looking forward to that. That's one of the rewards for finishing the colonoscopy, is getting to do a Joann's trip. So I'll take you along with me on that and show you everything we bought after we get home. And I also have our poem from our, what is that? A Poem for Every Autumn Day book. I'll link this down in the description below. I have another poem for you, but before we do that, I just wanted to remind you to hit the like button, subscribe if you've watched more than one video and you keep coming back. I would love it if you would become one of our subscribers. Comment on a video. Any interaction you have with the video really tells YouTube that people are interested in my video. They suggest it to more viewers who watch the type of videos that you watch, and it just makes it so that you guys can find me, my audience can find me, and become subscribers and grow this community together. So I'd really appreciate it, and thank you to all of the new subscribers. It's just been an explosion. I reached 300 recently, yay! So I'm very excited, and I'm always excited to see a comment, respond to a comment. Any questions that you have, you can leave them in the comments. Be happy to answer any questions. And also with the Christmas in Vlogtober, what I'll go ahead and do for this video is down in the description, I'll link all of those Etsy patterns that we're going to be working on in case you're interested in participating. So if you've ever thought about doing a Christmas craft or making an advent calendar and you don't have one, or working on a Christmas blanket with me, I'll link all of those things below so you have an opportunity to get prepared and maybe we can work on this together. Okay, now it's time for our autumn poem. And I think I'll save the other one for the outro, so let's do this one. And I also have my very festive autumn tray table over here. I'm trying to do the autumn thing today because next week we're going into Christmas and I feel like I'm going to be missing out on autumn, which is my favorite season. So I'm just trying to like work it all into this video. So the poem for this week is actually a prayer. It's the Iroquois prayer, and this prayer of thanks is a tradition passed on by the Iroquois, a confederacy of Native American tribes who lived in upstate New York and the area surrounding the Great Lakes before the advent of our modern United States. There are still Iroquois communities living in Canada and America. So this is a very autumnal harvest Thanksgiving prayer for us today. We return thanks to our mother, the earth which sustains us. We return thanks to the rivers and streams which supply us with water. We return thanks to all herbs which furnish medicines for the cure of our diseases. We return thanks to the corn and to her sisters, the beans and squash, which give us life. We return thanks to the bushes and trees which provide us with fruit. We return thanks to the wind which, moving the air, has banished diseases. We return thanks to the moon and the stars, which have given us their light when the sun has gone. We return thanks to our grandfather Hino, who has given us the rain. We return thanks to the sun, that he has looked upon the earth with a beneficent eye. Lastly, we return thanks to the Great Spirit, in whom is embodied all goodness, and who directs all things for the good of his children. You know, that would be a really wonderful prayer to say at Thanksgiving as well. I think that would be a nice tradition to start. I don't know what we're doing for Thanksgiving this year. Most likely hosting my husband's family back in our house again now that we can do things in our house. So looking forward to breaking bread and having a meal with them. Okay, so let's go ahead and lay out what we have. figure out what we need so that we can go to Joann's and have some fun. So I'm just going through my box of the Advent calendar stuff, and I've got this ornament that my grandma made, and I wanted to deconstruct this and reverse engineer it and make some of these. So I have the plastic canvas for that, the yarn for that, but I just realized that there's this like flesh colored yarn, so I'll have to get some of that. So I'm glad I'm looking through this box before we go. And then just looking through other stuff I had purchased. Some floss, but it's not going to be like all the colors that I need. So I'll definitely have to get some more of that. I've got these buttons that I tried out, which I think are the ones I'm going to go with for the tree. Let me show you the tree. So here we have the tree. So we've got a row of the little buttons down here that are going to hold the ornaments, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the Advent ornaments. So I'm thinking these ones for that. And then for the actual tree, to hang them on the tree, I'm thinking of these guys. I just don't remember if I got these at Joann's or not, so I'll look for these there. I might have ordered them on Amazon. I'm not sure, because I did order some of this stuff on Amazon. And then I'm glad I looked through this again, because I have the materials list and just realized that the tree is actually made out of felt. So I was going to buy fabric for that, but I don't need that. I just need larger pieces of green felt and then just the background fabric. So I'll look for like a nice tan plain calico kind of fabric for that. And then I had bought all of this felt. I think I got these, I can't remember. And I got all of these different felts. So they're small sheets of felt in different colors. So we have kind of like a wintry pack here that should work. And then this other pack has green and pink and red and yellow, and I have to see if that's brown, because I definitely need brown for the trunk of the tree. So I'll have to open that up. And then I had bought this, which I thought was regular felt. Turns out it's not really regular felt, it's like very fluffy felt. So yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work. I was really looking for like a kind of cinnamon sugary color felt, and I just don't think this is going to be it. So let's look at some of the other things. So this is just for the tree, and then I've got all the other Etsy patterns that I downloaded, so I'll link these as well. We've got, these are the ornaments that go with the tree. So we've got all of these to pick from. So I'm just, thinking of the colors I'm going to need. For that, I might need a few more sheets of things like this. Dark blue, I've got the icy blue, white, So I'm looking for all of these colors when I go to Joann's today to get some of the felt. And then these are super cute. But I'm going to need an orange and more of that blue and the white and this kind of sugar cookie tan color in the background. And then these are the actual sugar cookies. So I'm going to need a lot of that fabric. And I'm not sure with these ornaments. I just kind of downloaded a bunch of different ornaments. I'm not sure which ones I'm going to actually use for the tree. I was also thinking of doing some garlands. Maybe doing a garland for each family member as my Christmas craft. So there's that. And Got to get all those cut out too. So this is what we're looking for at Joann's today. Okay, let's take a look at our haul here. First thing I got was another basket, of course. I love me some Joann's baskets. This one kind of had a holiday feel, so got that one. They didn't really have a holiday one. They had one that was is that like sewn in there? That's weird. They had one that was snowflakes, but it was like white and silver, and I don't know, it didn't really appeal to me. This one's kind of makes me think of LL Bean or something, so I thought this one would be cuter. And normally they're on sale, but I did have my 50% off coupon, so it was on sale anyway, so that's good. So I'm going to use this to keep the embroidery floss and stuff in for this project, and probably all the little pieces, which I still have to cut out. So we will be cutting those out. Just have to go around and take off any hot glue edges that are hanging out here. Uh-oh. I've got some fabric showing. That's not good. I try and inspect these carefully before I take them home, but sometimes that doesn't exactly work. Okay. Did pretty good too. The felt was normally 59 cents a piece, and they were on sale for $4 so it was actually more than half off of each of the felt pieces, so that's good. So here is the floss that we got. Let me turn on another light here. There we go. Oh. So here's the floss that we got, all kind of Christmassy colors. I got a few different greens, a few different reds, some white, some black for the eyes and stuff, and then kind of an icy blue. And then where's the fancy one? Uh-oh. I got a fancy silver one too, and I don't see that here. Oh, good. I'm like, hopefully that came home with me, because it was the most expensive of all of them. Okay, and then this one's kind of a silvery thread that I'll need for the snowflakes and stuff. And apparently we're having a sharpening day for scissors. Ooh, pinking shears. It is hard to sharpen pinking shears. You're supposed to be able to do it with aluminum foil, cut aluminum foil, but I don't find that that works very well for me. And I've got a pair of my grandma's pinking shears, which I would like to keep. Okay, so here we are with what's going to be the banner fabric for our Advent calendar. And I was trying to look for something a little more calico, like a little more flowery, like very subtle flowery on a tan or dark cream fabric. But this is what we've come up with. Is this the back or the front? I think this is the back. She folded it backwards. Yeah, you can see the pattern a little bit better on this side. So just needed a yard of this fabric. It's just a very subtle pattern. I don't know if you can see it. There you go. It's kind of a lattice, French lattice kind of look to it. Just very subtle. It's a little more light than I wanted it to be, but c'est la vie. And then, you know, for this whole time I've been thinking fabric for the tree, and I reread the pattern and it's supposed to be felt, but Joann's didn't have any larger pieces of green felt, and it needed to be like big. So what I did was, since I already had fabric in my head originally anyway, I just decided to make it hard for myself, and we're switching this to fabric. So I've got some lighter green with some trees, which is cute, and then a darker green, and this is the same fabric I used recently for that dinosaur baby changing basket. and I really liked it, so I'm going to incorporate that. So it's going to be kind of a weird combo. They're so different. They're not going to blend in very well, but we'll see what happens. And I got a yard each of those, but I really only needed like a 3/4 of a yard. So those are our backing fabrics, I mean our tree fabrics. And since I'm going to cut it out of fabric, you know, felt, I wouldn't have to have an edge to the felt. So what I'm thinking of doing is treating this like an applique, cutting it larger all the way around the piece, and then doing the applique interfacing. So I have this from another project I was going to do, the English paper piecing. I'm going to have to applique those shapes onto a backing fabric. So I already have this in my stash, so I'm going to use that. We're going to cut a wider border than I need, a seam allowance. We're going to cut this out, we're going to sew them together, flip them over, and iron them so that I have a nice clean edge and it's not a raw edge that's going down on the banner. So that'll be a fun project. And then we've got all the felts, So you already saw the felt that we had, and I think I'm just gonna go ahead and use that felt. This will just be auxiliary augmenting felt because I didn't have like a dark brown. This was kind of the color I was looking for originally, kind of the sugar cookie gingerbread color. These are so cheap right now. I mean, it was 4 for $1, so I might just go back and get more of this. I went ahead and took another look at that felt, and the other side of the felt isn't fluffy, furry like that, so I might be able to use that, but this is more of the color I was going for, so as long as that's sale going on, I could do that. And then I just got 2 different colors of green. I think the green I already have is a little darker than that, so get some extra greens and some extra blues. There's like a gnome and an owl and a mug of hot cocoa that I need kind of a darker blue for that I don't have, so I got this one. And then I couldn't remember the 2 blues that I already had, so I just got 2 of this. And that's it. Oh, we got pom-poms for the tops of the Santas. And I forgot the other yarn. I was supposed to get a flesh-colored yarn. But then I was thinking, duh, I have this yarn from the Moroccan blanket. So I might go ahead and use one of the Moroccan blanket yarns for that. And all we have left to do to prepare for this Christmas stuff is the cutting out of all the shapes. So that's the next thing. And I'd like to not do that all at once and make my hand hurt. So I think I'll just start doing that little by little in the evenings to have something to do. Of course, none of this felt or anything fits in here, but once I cut all the shapes out, it'll fit. And this is all wonky too. How weird. You know, sometimes you buy these and they're a little wonky, and then sometimes they're wonky to the point of you have to return it because it's not working at all. So this looks like it was laid down all funky. Might have to re-glue that down a bit. And then just random pieces coming off, you know, random things hanging off of it. But I've only had one totally fall apart on me, and unfortunately that was the one I gave to my sister for Christmas. This whole handle like came off and came apart and she had to return the whole thing. But that's the only one I've ever had that did that. So we'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and put this in here too to remind me that we need to do that with the fabric. And then we need to cut all the pieces out. I think I'll start with the tree. And I still need to get a wooden dowel for the tree too. So that's that. And then let's take a look at the blanket while we're here. Okay, so just a reminder of where we're at. with the Christmas blanket. I have 4 kits lined up over there that I've gotten in the mail since the beginning. So here's what our Christmas blanket looks like. And I think I've done the first 2 kits, or I'm on the second kit. Yeah, I'm on the second kit. So it's kind of nice because they give you the numbers. So this is kit number 1, kit number 2. Let's see, 1 through 3, and then 4, 5, 6. So yeah, I think I've done both those kits, and then I've got 4 more kits lined up to do. So that's where we're getting with that one. And it's looking really cool. I like the difference in the stripes and the colors. What I also like about this is it's a sampler, so you're learning different stitches. Like this is cool with the little buttons on the stitch. I don't know if you can see it. Get it up closer. See, there's like little raised buttons in the stitch. So that one's kind of nice. This is a nice open stitch. This one's neat. This is a star stitch. I can see doing like a whole baby blanket in that. That's really pretty. And then this first one's a very open stitch too. And I think it was just a combination of double crochets. And then like this one is all double crochets or triple crochets. I can't remember. So just learning some new stitches that I could make a whole blanket out of. But I kind of like this look too of using different stitches in a blanket. I don't normally do that. I normally do a whole blanket out of 1 stitch. So it's kind of a nice thing to think about for future, is that I could mix some of these in a baby blanket too. Although, you know, fingers and toes and stuff, I don't like anything this large of a weave would not work for me in a baby blanket. You know, this one is okay. This one, no. So I definitely have different requirements for a baby blanket. So I'm excited to get back to this one because the Moroccan blanket is so much more difficult than this one. If you're thinking of doing one of these kits, I would highly recommend the stripe one, because once you learn the stripe pattern, you can just go off on your own and sit in front of the TV and do the stripes. So it's not like you have to count every stitch or anything. Okay, so we are all ready to go next week when we start on this project.
7 days of eternity, 7 days in another country. Every cell screams stay right here, and my legs they freeze us in fear. We got time after this, but I'll need you as my brightest light. Even in the darkest night, you shine so bright. Can someone make this disappear? I'm having a crisis down here. And if I can't see you, I lose my mind. I like to be with you all my time. And I miss you so much, the pain won't stop. It's the only thing I think about, it is a lot. Every cell screams get back home. Every day is so long. We got time after this, but I need you as my brightest light. Even in the darkest night, I'm at an all-time low. I need you to be here tonight. Addicted to your glowing light. You shine so bright.
Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow only golden, 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 golden things. Mountain laurel high fives for miles in spring. Rainbow trout and a hummingbird wing. Golden, I'll follow only golden, golden, golden things. Gold hair, gold rings, gold leaves, gold anything, golden. I'll follow only golden, golden, golden things. Walk up the river by my son. Feet step over splinters of the moon. Golden, I'll follow only golden, 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 golden things. Gold bird. follow only golden, golden things.
Well, friends, that's it for this week. I hope you had fun joining me on my adventures. We had a nice trip to Joann's and got the fabrics for the advent calendar. I don't know how these two are going to go. The more I see these two together, the more I regret my decision. I was supposed to get colors that were pretty similar to each other, so I might be in trouble with those. I might have to go pick some different fabrics for that. And we got our classic Joann's sewing basket. I was watching the video back and I got so excited about the Van Gogh Starry Night box, the basket, that I think I'm gonna have to go back and get me one of those because I obviously just lit up on the video when I saw that. Not a huge Van Gogh fan, but it was just a nice different kind of pattern. So we've got all of our things in here. We've got our floss organized, and I've been working on slowly cutting out all of the patterns. I decided to reinforce them with tape, so I'm just using packing tape to kind of give them some oomph. And then I realized, oh, I'm not really going to be pinning these to the felt. I'm basically going to be tracing around the pieces, but it still might just keep them intact longer without the paper getting lots of lines on it or messed up or crinkled. So I thought that was a pretty good idea myself. As you saw, I decided to put the Moroccan blanket in a corner for a while because it was just really making me angry just finishing that square. And I'm really excited to get back to the Christmas blanket, so I decided to put that one down. So here's where we are with the Christmas blanket. So I'm excited to get back to working on that. And then one thing like I've totally spaced on is our shawl for fall, our fall shawl. So I want to start working on that in the evenings, just getting back into that because it's almost fall weather. You know, it's still Southern California. So we have another heat wave heading our way, but other than that, I'm hoping it will be fall soon. So here's where we are on that one. Just beautiful fall Halloween harvest colors. So I'm going to continue working on that in the evenings. And I'm re-watching the whole Crown series in light of the Queen's passing. So it's just fascinating. Watched it through the first time. There's some very interesting revelations in there. Things I never knew about the royal family. And then I think I forgot about them because I'm watching again, and the whole, you know, just the events of history with that family were just incredible. And, you know, Princess Margaret and Prince Philip and all this stuff going on. It's just a lot. So I forgot a lot of big events that happened in the series over the past few years. So good to reacquaint myself with that. Can't believe I almost forgot to show you the quilt that we have finished. Wow, it's amazing. Okay, so this is obviously the back side of it, but it's a nice hefty quilt, California king size, with our backing fabric all ready to go to a long arm quilter, which I will have to find a long arm quilter to do this for me. I just feel a wonderful sense of accomplishment having done this. Had a vision for it, got the fabric when we were in Kauai, and just started working away on it. And it's amazing. You just take that leap and you learn. You know, you learn as you go. The first few rows, sewing together all these squares and nervous, and then it just came together. And then sewing the rows together, I was nervous about that. After the first few rows, boom, it's like clockwork. It's just comes naturally. So it's just a reminder that no matter how difficult something seems before you do it, as soon as you've done it, it's mastered. It seems a lot easier than when you started, and as you go along, you get more confident in it. So just wanted to share that with you. I feel like there's something else I wanted to share with you, and I can't remember what that is. Oh, the fish, that's right. So I got a few more fish to go with the fish that are in my tank. I didn't want to get any more fish until after the power outage, because I didn't know what was going to happen. We actually borrowed our neighbor's generator, and were able to plug the fish in and the fridge. Those were the two most important things. So they're all fine. And then went to the fish store. I was looking for a plecostomus because I had one in my old tank and they just look so cool. They're like little bottom feeders, just suck onto the stuff, and they look like prehistoric animals. But I think what I had last time was a dwarf plecostomus, and I can't find that anywhere around here. They're all gonna get like a foot or two long, and I've got this teeny 13-gallon tank that is not gonna sustain that large of a fish. So the alternative was to get some Coreodoras, which are a dwarf version of catfish. So I found some really cool ones that have leopard spots. I'll try to insert a picture here. But they're just so cool to look at. They go up the tank, down the tank, all around the tank. They're a lot more active than my plecostomus was, and they're just really cool to watch. So my idea of having a fish meditation every day really has come true. It's been working. I'll get home, turn on the light, feed the fish, just sit down and watch them. And it's just kind of a nice transition between work and home, you know, work-life balance. And it's been really wonderful. So it really has worked as just a mental break for me. And the fish are just fascinating. You know, my husband, when I set up the tank, was like, do you really want to do all this work? This seems like a lot of work. Getting the balance, the chemistry, water balance correct, and learning all about that. I was watching like a million YouTube videos about which fish to keep and who would get along with each other. And it really hasn't felt like work to me. It's just been very interesting. I've always enjoyed fish, and it's just been wonderful to watch them. They're very calming to me. So thought I would give you an update on that. And now for our last poem from our book of A Poem for Every Autumn Day. And this poem is called Arithmetic by Carl Sandburg. And you can guess what the topic is, knowing my love for math. Arithmetic is where numbers fly like pigeons in and out of your head. Arithmetic tells you how many you lose or win if you know how many you had before you lost or won. Arithmetic is 7-Eleven, all good children go to heaven, or 5-6 bundle of sticks. Arithmetic is numbers you squeeze from your head to your hand, to your pencil, to your paper, till you get the answer. Arithmetic is where the answer is right and everything is nice and you can look out of the window and see the blue sky. Or the answer is wrong and you have to start all over and try again and see how it comes out this time. If you take a number and double it again, and then double it a few more times, the number gets bigger and bigger and goes higher and higher, and only arithmetic can tell you what the number is when you decide to quit doubling. Arithmetic is where you have to multiply, and you carry the multiplication table in your head and hope you won't lose it. If you have 2 animal crackers, one good and one bad, and you eat one and a striped zebra with streaks all over him eats the other, how many animal crackers will you have if somebody offers you 5, 6, 7, and you say no, 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 and you say nay, 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 and you say nix, nix, nix? If you ask your mother for 1 fried egg for breakfast, and she gives you 2 fried eggs, and you eat both of them, who is better in arithmetic, you or your mother? That was kind of weird. Okay. Well, thank you for joining me, friends. I hope to see you next week when we start our Christmas in Vlogtober. And until then, I hope you have a wonderful week and take a moment for yourself. Maybe make a nice fall treat. Go get a pumpkin spice latte. Go get a cute little pumpkin from the store. Carve a pumpkin. Do something nice for yourself to celebrate the season. Ooh, an apple crisp might be nice too. Okay, so I'll see you next week. Until then, love you. Bye.